The question was only 7 words long. It still destroyed my marriage. My 6-year-old daughter looked up from her cereal one Saturday morning and innocently asked, "Why doesn't Uncle Ryan ever stay for breakfast?" The spoon slipped from my hand. My husband slowly looked up from his coffee. He smiled. Not because the question was funny, because he already knew the answer. People think children are terrible at keeping secrets. They're not. Children don't keep secrets at all. They simply describe the world exactly as they see it. Adults are the ones who panic. Ryan wasn't my daughter's uncle. Not really. He wasn't related to us. He wasn't even a close family friend. He was a coworker, a man I'd met 18 months earlier during a software rollout. One lunch became another. Then late meetings. Then hotel rooms. Then afternoons at my house whenever Noah traveled for work. Emma had met him only twice. At least, that's what I believed. The first time had been accidental. She came home early from school because of a plumbing problem. Ryan had barely enough time to leave through the back door before the school bus arrived. Emma caught only a glimpse of him. "Who's that?" "A friend from work." She accepted the answer. Children usually do. The second time, she was supposed to be spending the afternoon at my mother's house. Mom called to say she'd be an hour late. Ryan was already at the house. Emma spent 45 minutes coloring in the living room while Ryan fixed a loose cabinet hinge I'd been complaining about for months. He made her laugh, helped her finish a puzzle, read her a story while I answered a work call. Before he left, Emma hugged him. "Bye, Uncle Ryan." He laughed. "I'm not your uncle." She shrugged. "You're nice." Neither of us corrected her after that. It felt harmless. One tiny lie among hundreds of bigger ones. Over the next several months, Emma mentioned him once or twice. Always casually. "Is Uncle Ryan coming?" "No, sweetheart." "Okay." I never imagined she remembered much. Children move on quickly, or so I thought. One Saturday, Noah returned from a 3-day conference. We sat around the kitchen table eating breakfast. Pancakes, orange juice, coffee. A completely ordinary morning. Emma happily covered her pancakes with syrup, looked around the table, then asked, "Why doesn't Uncle Ryan ever stay for breakfast?" Silence. Not awkward silence. Absolute silence. Noah lowered his coffee mug. "I'm sorry?" Emma smiled. "Uncle Ryan. He always leaves before breakfast." I felt my heart stop. Noah looked at me, then back at Emma. "When does Uncle Ryan come over?" Emma answered without hesitation. "When you're at work." Children don't recognize danger. They only answer questions. "He helps Mommy." Another pause. "Sometimes he fixes stuff." She smiled proudly. "He fixed the cabinet." I couldn't breathe. Noah never raised his voice, never frowned, never looked angry. Instead, he asked the question that terrified me most. "Does Mommy know Uncle Ryan?" Emma giggled. "Silly, Daddy. They hug all the time." The room spun. Noah slowly nodded. "I see." Emma happily went back to her pancakes, completely unaware she'd just shattered our family. Breakfast ended a few minutes later. Noah drove Emma to soccer practice, kissed her forehead, cheered from the sidelines, bought her ice cream afterward. He didn't mention Ryan once. That frightened me more than anything. When we got home, Emma ran upstairs to play. Only then did Noah speak. "When did it start?" There was no point lying anymore. "A year and a half." He nodded once. I figured. "When did you find out?" He looked toward the staircase where Emma was singing to herself. 5 months ago. 5 months. 5 months of bedtime stories. Birthday parties, family vacations, movie nights. 5 months of him already knowing. Every memory shifted. The patience, the quiet, the gentle smiles. He hadn't been trying to catch me. He'd been protecting Emma. I kept hoping she'd stop talking about him. I stared at him. What? He sighed. Children don't understand affairs. They understand routines. Another pause. If she thought he belonged here, that meant he'd been here too often. The tears finally came. I'm sorry. Noah nodded sadly. I know. He disappeared into his office, returned carrying a large manila envelope, divorce papers. Already signed, already dated, already waiting. He placed them gently on the kitchen table. I wasn't waiting for evidence. He looked toward Emma's drawings hanging on the refrigerator. I was waiting to know whether another man had become part of my daughter's normal life. The words shattered me. She called him uncle. I whispered. I know. Another long silence. Kids give names to people they trust. He smiled sadly. She wasn't exposing your affair. She was describing her family. I couldn't stop crying. Noah quietly gathered his coffee mug, rinsed it in the sink, loaded the dishwasher. Everything calm, everything ordinary. Before walking upstairs, he stopped beside the refrigerator, looked at one of Emma's crayon drawings. 3 smiling stick figures holding hands. Mommy, Daddy, Emma. Then he quietly asked, Do you know what hurt the most? I shook my head. It wasn't that she called him Uncle Ryan. He looked at the drawing one last time. It was that she expected him to come back. He disappeared upstairs, leaving me alone in the kitchen. I sat there until the pancakes went cold. Emma's tiny pink syrup-covered plate still sitting across from me. She came downstairs an hour later, wrapped her arms around my waist. Is Daddy sad? I couldn't answer. She frowned. Did I say something bad? I held her tighter than I ever had before. No, sweetheart. You told the truth. Years have passed since that morning. Emma is older now. She barely remembers Ryan, barely remembers that breakfast. I remember every second. Not because that's when my marriage ended. Not because Noah already knew. Not even because of the divorce. The hardest part was realizing my daughter had never betrayed me. She simply described the world as she understood it. To her, Uncle Ryan was just another grown-up who smiled, fixed things, and always left before breakfast. She didn't know why he disappeared before the sun came up. She didn't know why he was never there when Daddy came home. She didn't know what an affair was. She only knew that someone she trusted kept coming back. And the moment she innocently asked why Uncle Ryan never stayed for breakfast, I realized the person I'd been lying to the longest was myself.